How's it going out there, everybody? As always, I am the Wolf Knight, and welcome back to some more Graveyard Keeper. We are, now we've talked to Snake again, and we asked him about Miss Charm's necklace. And when you do that, you'll get 10 more points with Snake to make 40, which means we were able to get the restoration tools, which means now we can port over here to the lighthouse and give the restoration tools to him. Getting another plus 10 with him. We'll get a bronze story. A bit of acid. Gently pull the paper apart. Let's read what it says. Here we have 3 parts of the barrel. A necklace with a sapphire, a gold angle, and an endless notebook. Snake has an endless notebook. In order to get the necklace and gold angle. Esmeralda is pregnant with his child. So the astrologer has a kid. What about the necklace and... You were talking about the necklace and the gold angle. 21 still... We were talking about the necklace and the gold angle. He'll tell me where to get the gold angle. Gypsy caravan at the northern pass, so we have to go talk to the Gypsy Baron. Now that we have a 40 with him, we can ask him about the Necronomicon. And he'll tell us... Gave it to his friend, the lighthouse keeper. And now we can ask about the run-ins with vampires. Mention that you had an encounter with some vampires. Even before the Great Blast. My friend Kiefer was with me. We're having a picnic and as I recall, then 4 guys with fangs suddenly showed up and assaulted the keeper. But some strange man protected him, and they all turned into vampire jaws. The vampire alchemist had discovered 4 groups of blood. Most interesting vampires only drink group O. The other groups give them cavities in their fangs, ulcers, green eruptions on the skin, decade-long paralysis, and other nuisances. Didn't recognize the guy, neither did Rose, and what's more, Farmer's son called out to him, but the individual didn't hear him. So he isn't a regular villager and he has hearing problems. I've got it. Need to talk to Master Alec and the Marquis. Who do we know that's not a villager and has hearing problems? Let's ask him about the book. Can you give it to me? So he wants a bunch of maggots for it. So 5 maggots. So let's just quickly port back to the house. And it's kind of a... Man, I mean, I really wouldn't want the Necronomicon. Because if you've watched Evil Dead, that thing leads to a bunch of... just, yeah. So now we got our 5 maggots. We can go back over to the lighthouse keeper. Just waiting for the stone to recharge. We will be able to get these scrolls of teleportation later from Master Alec. So to the lighthouse. Alright, here's your 5 for the Necronomicon. Definitely doesn't look like it does from the show. Yes, the show. Who here watched the Evil, when they made Evil Dead into a series? It wasn't bad, it was pretty good. The one thing about that show is, I mean, Jesus, it was always very bloody. I mean, like, every episode, the characters were always getting covered in just, like massive amounts of blood. It's like, really? The movies were pretty good, too. Now, I didn't like watch the like newer Evil Dead. I watched like the older ones. So let's port back home. Now that we have the Necronomicon, we'll be able to give it to Snake next go around. So try to find out what the Gypsy Baron knows about Esmeralda and her child. So let's see. Let's go talk to the farmer's son and all them to see about getting the ancient wine flask. And then we'll, after we do that, we'll go over to our refugee camp and talk to Master Alec and the Marquis. Or is it Marcus? You know, if you know me, you know, I said before, I have trouble pronouncing stuff sometimes. So let's talk to the farmer's son first. I'll give you this flask, but only if you promise not to tell my father. It's a deal. That was easy. Alrighty. Refugee camp it is. Ask about the vampire. One of them is terrorizing the village, and I suspect that it might be one of us. Impossible. I know all these people quite well. What about Master Alec? Okay. So Master Alec is our prime suspect. Ask about the vampires. Master Alec, the nearby villagers greatly are alarmed at the thought of vampires. What did you say, Master Alec? I said the closest village. Pillage? Where? When? No, not pillage, the closest village. They are concerned, burned? But who did it, and why? Okay, the villagers are in a rage over vampires. Age of Empires? Once again, another reference! And I absolutely love that game. It's one of my, without a doubt, one of my most favorite RTSs. More specifically, Age of Empires 2. If you out there if you're everyone out there in the comments, please let me know if you forgot to cover the green sword on his wrists. Astrologer said that's a sign of a vampire on a bad diet. I'll stake out the tent at night and keep an eye on Alec. So now we'll basically have to wait until nighttime. But yeah, if you've played let me know in the comment section if you have played Age of the Empires 2, or if you still do play Age of Empires 2. You know, because like I said, that's one of my most favorite RTSs. Look, no one can see me. I'm concealed. Can you find where I'm at? Hello, I'm right here. But there's a couple of, like I said, there's a couple of other RTS games I really like, but like I said, Age of the Empires 2 is definitely my favorite. The other RTS game I really like was Dune 2000. If you played that game, let me know in the comments if you really like that one, because I really did like that one. And the other one was Star Wars Battlegrounds, and that was a dang good RTS game as well. I really liked that Star Wars. So I don't know. I think we'll basically just have to just sit back here behind Master Alec's tent. At some point we'll get a little cutscene. Move these flowers, and we'll eat them. But yeah, Age of Empires would have to be number 1. Star Wars Battlegrounds would have to be number 2, and Dune 2000 would be number 3. Those are all old RTS games I really love. Now, you know, I haven't played, you know, I haven't really done much in the way of computer gaming. Those three are about the only computer games I really remember, like, fully playing. The only other computer game I remember that I really played was, the Emperor's New Groove computer game. And that was basically like it was basically the Emperor's New Groove movie turned into like a computer game. And it was quite fun. I really enjoyed that one. So we're just sitting here waiting for it to be the right kind of nighttime for Master Alec to depart. And like I said, I don't know when the time will be. So we're basically here we go. Look, he turned into a bat. It's incredible. It's like a classic horror movie. I wonder where he's hid his sleeping coffin. You shall not pass, foul creature. Defend yourselves. Hey, I'm talking to you. I have some respect. You have to speak louder. He's deaf. The world has gone crazy. Deaf vampires, garlic-munching vampires. What's next? Stop, you monster, and fight me. There's no point, young man. Your wife's blood doesn't suit me. And as for you, you really don't seem tasty enough. Shouting, you will die as long and torture death for this insult. You bastard, defend yourself. I admire your logic. Not to mention your fervor, but if you don't leave me alone... Alrighty. Hey guys, there's no need to kill each other. Let's talk first. I asked you not to bother me. Now face the consequences. Ah, my eyes! Hey, I can't see. That's not fair. Neither can I. That's very freaking bright. Heaven no more like the opposite. This is my tent, and you're alive. You're a vile vampire. Wait a second. Why didn't you kill me? And hey, you can hear me. What the hell's going on? While you were unconscious, I borrowed a part of your hearing. What? Don't worry, as you could tell, your own hearing has already regenerated. But why did you suggest I might have killed you? You're a monster! I'm no monster, and I'm just so foolish as to kill the graveyard keeper that would ruin everything. Okay, I had planned to do something rather naughty with you. I admit it, but I since changed my mind. More capable than you imagine. I won't help a vampire. Calm your emotions. Okay. Time's up. The ancient curse has returned, and I must stop it before it's too late. This is my duty as written in the ancient contract. Should I fail, 1,000 bloodthirsty zombies will flood the town, the village, and even your graveyard. But the problem is already too advanced. I can't deal with it all on my own. I need your help, Keeper. It's all rather unexpected. I need to think. I see. You're welcome to ask any questions, but remember, we're already running short on time. So basically, each DLC provides you with more story behind the whole game. What did you do to the shepherd? A little bump on the head. It was completely harmless. You've been a vampire since you were born? No. I was contaminated over 30 years ago. Vampires kidnapped me, put me in a cage, tortured me, and did this to me. I hate my curse more than anything, but there's no cure for it. I drank blood only in the most desperate situation to avoid a terrible death. Why did you attack the villagers? I didn't want to, but I'm nearly dying of hunger. If I try to attack anyone, the camp TDR would easily find me out. I remember a movie. There was a guy who drank rat blood, or he'd... Can't leave the world without fulfilling my duty. What is the ancient curse? It was laid upon us 2 centuries ago when disciples of the new faith destroyed the ancient bridge. Desperate souls could no longer find their way to the land of the dead. They grew mad in despair, returned to their bodies, and began killing everyone. The walking dead flooded the world. Only the ancient God and the ancient contract saved humankind from annihilation. What is the ancient contract? It contains the list of deceits which are decitates, I don't know. It was agreed by the representatives of new and old faith and the ancient God. My brothers and I, as signatories, were obliged to follow it faithfully and execute all its conditions. We did so for nearly 170 years, but as you can see, we failed eventually. You're even older than Moses. I always considered it strange that graveyard keepers weren't informed of all of this stuff. In the end, you're the generator of the contract. Why did the ancient curse return? Because the structures of the ancient contract were violated too many times. What do you mean? The Inquisition's cruelty, the cult's brutality, the ships of the dead stuck in the harbor, and most importantly, we haven't had a graveyard keeper for the past 30 years. Your predecessor was killed before the next chosen keeper was even born. There must always be a graveyard keeper. They are the generators of the contract. I don't know how to say that word. That's why I asked when you first meet about the role you play. And how can we stop the ancient curse? The curse began to return after the Great Blast, and according to the information I have, the 4th keeper, your predecessor, has been killed in the Great Blast. So we must unmask the murderer of the 4th keeper. Only the person who triggered the curse can stop its spread. So basically we gotta play Sherlock and find out. Nobody. The other signatures are bound by a seal of silence. Except for me and my brothers. But it's useless to count on them. Why won't your brothers help with the curse? This is not the time or place to discuss them, perhaps one day. But for now, knowing this, we can rely only on ourselves. I agree to help. Starters, take these scrolls. They'll help you a lot with time traveling. We should. Uh-oh. Could hear his heart beating. No, never him. If he learns that I'm a vampire, he'll pierce my heart with a wooden stake with the greatest of pleasure. Blood, just a drop of blood. Please hurry. So now it basically wants us to bring him a thing of corpse blood. As you see, scroll of teleportation. Now, unlike the stone, they're basically consumables. But back home, down to our morgue, grab a drop of blood and bring it back to Master Alec. So yeah, the DLCs really give a lot with the terms of story. So a drop of blood. Then we just use the scroll of teleportation, get right back to the refugee camp. Give him blood. Task complete. There, that's a bit better, but the taste is amazingly foul. What was it? Corpse blood. That sound means we're out of time. Some villagers to volunteer his blood. Oh no, not again. Hello, diarrhea. But you're right, thank you in spite of it all. If you wish, I could bring you some regularly so that you can stop bothering the villagers. It's a deal, and paying you for the service would be honest thing, wouldn't it? You right now, my old vampire sunscreen. You can show it to them as evidence of the vampire's demise. So find the vampire is dead. You must find the vampire who captured and tortured me 30 years ago. I remember they asked me about the ancient contract and the ancient curse. I'm sure they're somehow connected to the curse and the Great Blast. They sort of disappeared after the Great Blast. Let me think. Astrologer told me that he and the fourth keeper were attacked by vampires. Some strange magic turned the attackers into vampire jaws. Maybe it's possible to find those jaws and disenchant them. I've heard of this place. I should inform Alec. I know where we could start looking, but the event happened so long ago, any clue might be long gone. Borrow the witch's eyes from Tidora. It's a special artifact for discovering things which are shrouded in the veils of time. Aren't you coming with? I'm still too weak from hunger, and daylight is deadly to me. Alrighty. So, quite a good bit of story right there for telling us what we need to do. We're talking about the ancient contract and whatnot, and the ancient curse. But as you heard just a second ago, we're out of time, guys. So, thank y'all for joining me. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.